Hi Internet, how you guys doing?
Hey Internet, Chris and Kim here again with a new episode of Rambling Teatime. What's going on, Kim?
So lately how I've been trying to rehabilitate my plants?
Yes, because they keep dying sometimes.
Exactly. So the ones we have a bunch of aloe vera
I know.
and they were just sitting there, some that just sit like predominantly in the sun and the edge of them got like burnt and what have you.
Hmm.
Anyhow, so I brought inside some of them and I've been growing them and they turned back to a beautiful lively color.
Yeah,
And then I started to think about what would aloe vera be good for.
it's good for when you're sick. You can drink the inside of it and in like a drink and stuff like that.
Is it?
Also good
I
on skin.
Right, I heard about this, the one with the burns
Hmm.
for I've used it for burns as well. But I actually came across a website. It's a magical herbs grimoire. Right?
Ah,
So it lists all kinds of different herbs and
hmm.
spices that we have. They're not made up or anything. But then it goes in and tells you, like, okay, so this thing would be good for like protection or cleansing
Protection
or
from what? Just
I don't know,
protection?
evil spirit and evil vibes. I guess it
Okay.
was kind of like that.
So take the spices that you use to cook to protect you from evil vibes.
Exactly. Evil energies that people might
Oh boy.
bring. There's some where it says that they make like love potions and
Okay,
what
that's
have
just
you.
no, that's just bullshit.
Anyhow, so we have spoken before about how people use spices back in the day
Hmm.
and they were seen as like witches or something when they were just doing medicine,
Yeah, right. Or
basic medicine.
when people just know a little bit about herbology and what
Exactly.
plants are useful for when you have a fever or whatever and whatnot. And they're like, "Oh my God, you are a witch doctor." It's like, nah, fam. It's just that this knowledge was passed down, but what shit cures
Exactly.
what?
So, magic.
Oh, magic. Yes. Magic is technology. Magical technology. Computers, cell phones, cell towers.
You mean like that?
Yeah. Well, you want to
Ah,
know the greatest magic to me that humanity has ever created, in my opinion?
what?
The toilet and the washing machine. The greatest magical devices that have ever existed. Changed
Uh-huh.
the entire course of history and mankind.
There are some places where people still don't use toilets though.
And they are missing out on the most
Washing
magical
machines as well.
invention of humankind. I'm not even joking. I'm legit 100% serious. Whenever I see those lists about, oh, the top 10 like most useful inventions, and people talk
Hmm.
about the wheel and just talk about I don't know, some of the fantastical shit. But you wanna know what I think? The
Hmm.
most fantastical creation is goddamn indoor plumbing. Fuck yes. Okay, but sorry, yes, magic.
Speaking on the greatest magic inventions,
Uh huh.
mine would still be, I think I said this before, the spoon.
The spoon.
Our utensils, right? The spoon, fork, knife. People use chopsticks.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I think that can openers are really magical as well.
Really? Can offers? But
Oh my
again,
goodness. I have to tell you something. You know that I cooked today, right?
uh
The can opener that we have needs replacing. That's all I have to say.
huh. What's wrong with it?
I don't know, but when I put the can under, it pressed down, but it was just making a song and it wouldn't, it wouldn't cut. It
Uh
was
huh.
just constantly staying there.
Probably needs to sharpen the blade.
No, because it would cut. But it's like the pressure, I felt like I had to push the can up like hard against the blade.
Maybe you're not working the magical device. You probably know. Maybe you are working the magical device that is the can opener a bit too hard. You need to go back to the old school days when you just open it with a hand with a
If we
knife.
lived in the kind of world that I wanted, I wouldn't have to recharge the can opener
Mm.
because it would naturally take the magic out of nature
Oh,
itself, out of, whatever, the air, the atmosphere, and it would recharge and it would fix itself.
okay. So okay. Since you were talking about magic or power systems, like maybe alchemy from like Full Metal Alchemist, that whole situation where you need to give something to get whatever you want, it's that whole equivalent exchange. That
Yeah.
I like power systems like that where there's a trade off and nothing is free. And the more power you or the more you want, the greater you have to pay to like receive power and whatnot. Like the Elric brothers pretty much paid the price of losing arm and a leg and your entire
Yeah, I
brother.
actually don't like that kind of
Magic
system at
systems.
all.
I like that there is a cost.
I don't like that there's a cost.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like for every season thing, but it it gives a certain weight to when you see a character do certain things where you
Right, right. I
see
guess
it
so.
is like they're going to lose something or give up
Right,
something
right.
or
They're
like
also the ones where they use like they draw from their like life force.
exactly. I don't know.
I
Those ones
don't
are
really like those either.
I like when there is a like that power comes at a cost because I don't mind reading stuff where the characters get stronger and stronger from training or maybe like cultivation stuff where they just like keep increasing their cores and they keep
Right.
rising to how like whatever star dragon emperor bullshit, and they start off from like
It's
little peasant.
ridiculous.
It is, but I don't mind stuff like that. That is also a decent those for me, cultivation type magic systems work best when the main character is like an underdog and he's trying to build his way up. Most of the time, they're pretty cliche, but that's enjoyable in that type of stance. But
And those ones, they usually have like elements to them, don't they?
elements is another thing.
I'm not like the biggest fan of elements, but I think most people have seen the use of earth, wind, water,
If you've
you
played
know.
a game, read a
Yeah.
comic, anything, you've seen the usage of elements in like it's extremely common.
Oh, that reminds me of one actually.
What?
You remember we watched ReZero? So
ReZero is
in
great.
that, they use the four main elements, but they use the yin and yang as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like the six main elements. And the way they do magic is that there are two main ways apparently.
Mm.
You can draw it from inside of yourself. You've
Mm-hmm.
said that you like that kind of
Yes.
magic. And then the other way is that you can like draw it from the environment with the
Mm-hmm.
help of like spirits. That's the kind that I like. So
Yes.
in there they have the two kinds that we both like.
Yeah.
You from within and me from the environment.
Yes.
But mine is more, they say it's with the help of like spirits
A
and stuff.
medium of
So
sort, something to find out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the environmental magic.
I like it too, like because in most of the time in those stories, if people have magic, then magic is probably in other creatures.
Right.
And then sometimes when the stereotypical thing is when you kill monster, they have magic cores, and then people use those magic cores to like power stuff type of situations. You
Or
sometimes
if you
what I've seen,
use their
you
parts.
can use their parts to like make yourself
Yeah.
stronger or whatever. And seen that
Like
a
The
lot.
Witcher.
Yeah, like in The Witcher, you can make them to make whatever potions you want to make. So it's pretty standard fantasy affair when it comes to like that type of stuff.
How do you feel about magic that's been passed down?
I
Like
don't
from
mind that.
mother, like if mommy passed on some kind of magic to you and you had to, I don't know, try to
There's a
train
lot of
and
stuff
stuff
like
for
that,
it.
isn't there? There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff where the ability to do something is power. I'm thinking of like a bunch of stuff that just flashing through my head. It's like, yeah, I'm literally reading multiple things like that where the character is the way they are because their ancestor was some big name person or something
hmm
like that, and they didn't have the power, but then they awakened the power. The typical
I
story
don't
shit.
like the, oh my goodness, I awakened this power all of a sudden.
Yeah, I was trash, but no, I'm not trash type of shit.
Yeah, I don't like it. I want something more natural,
Mm.
kind of. And I don't like a cost to the person. Or you see, I'm trying to shirk responsibility but have power.
I got
That's
you.
exactly it.
Like a politician. I understand. I got you.
I want I want that we can have magic and we can draw it naturally from the air,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the user, we're just like a medium.
Okay.
And we'll learn and we'll practice how to do it. There
Mm-hmm.
aren't necessarily any elements, but you can, I guess, if you want to focus on one specifically, you could do that.
Mm.
But something where just because you use it and in training, it doesn't cost you anything.
Ah, I
How
gotcha.
do you feel about that? You think that's lazy magic?
It's kind of lazy magic. Fate, right?
Yeah.
I play Fate Go. I've played a few of the Fate games. Fate Magic and Fate is kind of interesting because they've divided up. There's true magics type of thing, and then there's magecraft.
Hmm.
Cause what is happening
Wait,
in
what's true magics?
true? Okay, man, I'm so out of like touch it, isn't it? True. Imagine true magics as like real hardcore magic, but magecraft is is basic magic that's like way below true magic.
Is it like when they talk about having, is it high magic
No, well,
and folk magic?
no. It's the way in when the world of fate, magic is kind of disappearing, and the
Hmm.
magic way how magic works is kind of mystery. But the more things become understood by humanity, the less magic there actually is. The less mystery there is to the world, the less
Hmm.
magic there is. So that's why Magecraft was created, so that people can still do magic stuff, but it's not like extremely um extravagant, and even like doing something almost there's a lot of like a cost. You need to do this, you need to do sacrifices, you need to get all these different catalysts to even do something most of the time for big huge spells or whatever. But the reason why I brought up Fate was the idea of conceptual powers.
What's that?
Powers that are a concept versus actually a thing.
Meaning
Okay,
they're an
the
idea?
yes, the magic. Okay, a magic that is an idea that's designed to do a specific thing,
Like,
like say kill a god.
okay, but it's
And
just an idea though.
but no, but a conceptual magic is something that is conceived that's created with the idea to kill a a god or something like that, and that is what it does. I am explaining this extremely poorly
Deep.
because it's far, yeah, the whole idea behind like being concepts having power and being able to do things just by the creation, just creating the idea to do a
Okay,
thing.
it sounds like something that I read recently. I think it's called the Chronicles of Pandora.
Mm.
So there was an Earth before, but that was like several million years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
it became, the world became Pandora, where whatever people believe
Mm-hmm.
strongly might come true.
Yeah.
So the conceptual magic that you're saying, I could kind of grasp. If a person thinks it, it's possible that it could be wielded.
Yes, that is how servants and like gods and stuff kind of work in Fate as well.
Really?
Like in that the more famous I would say that somebody was known is probably how more powerful they will be as a servant, you
You
know?
know, I watched Fate, but I don't know that.
I'm look. Even though I play Fate Go and I like the story and whatnot, and I played some Fate Stay Night years ago, and I watched the anime. I haven't really watched a lot of the things. And even though I'm kinda in, I know that right now I'm explaining this stuff terribly,
Hmm.
but I kind of like the way how Fate handles magic and sort of stuff when they're different series and stuff like that. It is not the most extravagant, but it's not the most subtle magic.
Hmm.
It's very interesting how stuff works in that world because servants are way stronger than most of the time the mages that summon them.
Right.
You know, because they're actually pure magic. Mages are most of the time kind of weak and silly and stupid, but that's a whole other story. But I like I like that type of magic. Just like the perfect balance between being ridiculous, overpowered, and then sometimes just being subtle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why when I the whole my whole stuff that I like to write, my whole stories and stuff like that is like the magic isn't going to be like super like explosive fireball type things. It's more like just being subtle, simple magic to make you maybe move faster, maybe make you a little cloak you in the dark type of thing. Just
Okay,
stuff
okay.
that
You say simple magic, but what
simple.
do you consider simple
I
magic?
consider simple magic be stuff that it doesn't take a lot for the person to use and it's useful. Like something that is just simple. Maybe you can create water in your hand and being able to use manipulate water to do different things. And it's not a lot of water. You can't really use it to attack somebody or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. But you can use it to maybe get close to a person and choke them with it, drown them in 2 inches of water. That is a possible thing. Fill up their nose or something with it. It's just you. It's not for me. It's less power, but trying. I think you've realized my whole thing. I prefer less power, but using the power that you have or magic you have smarter. If you get what I'm trying to say, that's what I mean by simple.
Okay, so what about this? When it comes to how you actually, I don't know, like call forth the magic.
Oh, okay.
Um, earlier you spoke about spells,
Yes.
right? So there are spells and there could be rituals and there
Mm-hmm.
are chants and stuff like that. Do you know what I think is would work for simple?
What?
If you just think it.
Just think it.
You just think it. You don't have to say anything. You just think and it happens. And it's not like the conceptual anything that you're thinking
I
about,
know what you mean.
but you think it in your head,
Yeah, I know
that
a lot
way.
of stories kind of do that type of thing where they make a big deal of the character not casting.
Yes, this is it. Casting
The
is the
whole thing is
word.
not or not chanting the
Yeah, yeah,
spell
yeah, yeah,
before they
yeah.
do it. And I honestly am not the biggest fan of that either.
I'm a fan of easy, lazy
I mean,
magic, so
I'm not a
that's
fan of.
me.
I mean, sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm not a fan of actual casting or chanting. You
Okay.
know, because
I think if we were in actual battle, it would take more time.
exactly right, but depending on how the story is, sometimes chanting it gives you a stronger result
Hmm.
versus instantly casting it in from just like in your mind. You know, so that's really balance sometimes comes in some stories. That can work for, I guess, some magic in it would be able to work like that, but it depends on the story and the series
I
and the
guess so.
idea. You know, I like the idea of runes and ingrading spells into actually
Uh,
like equipment and or armor
mm-hmm.
or whatever, so as to have like instead of like
Gear
casting,
and
yes,
objects. Yes, me too.
yes,
I like magical gear and objects as well.
me too. Like the whole idea of having gear and stuff that is like inlaid with whatever like protection or
Yeah, yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
That type of stuff is fun, and maybe you could activate something with a spell or whatnot. I always like stuff like that. It's like pretty cool, you know. Um, there's like other if we get into like certain types of magic, like say that you brought up elemental before,
Hmm.
right? But then there's stuff like summoning is also a type of magic type thing you get. You
Hmm.
also get witchcraft, and then you get stuff like necromancy and things like that.
Yeah.
Is there any type of particular something like that, some typical type of magic that you would like to have and use in real life?
Definitely not necromancy. Um, I don't know. Any kind of magic that's just easy, really, Christopher.
Easy, simple,
If it's
easy magic.
easy.
Hmm.
Um, doesn't require any spells or drawing up any circles or squares or anything, and having to remember the
You
chant or anything.
you just want free magic.
I am no work
You
magic.
know the type of magic that you want?
What?
You want isekai magic. That's what you want.
You
You
know
want
what?
video game screen magic where you put
No, 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 no,
stats
no,
into
no,
your
not like
skills and
that.
then you could instantly call them up and shoot them wherever you want.
But you know what? I just remembered, speaking of isekai, so Tensura, Tensura?
Uh-huh.
So that uses a bunch of like different magic as well.
Mm.
But they use the one that I really like because they call it their magicules in the just in the environment, just in the air,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And they use that to power their ability,
Yes.
to harness the magic that they're about to
Yeah,
use.
just like mana in the air like any other
Exactly.
series or anything like that.
Exactly. I love that.
That's fine. My ongoing writing attempt at writing stories and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. My whole thing is in my universe is that magic used to exist on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The main character realizes that it feels that if there's no magic in the air or anything like that, it feels like it was completely scrubbed from the earth. Like if the like you could sense that something was there, but it's gone now.
Okay, but does the person sense that it's gone naturally
No,
or was it on
like if
purpose?
it's gone on purpose. And they also realize that the only place where they can sense magic is in people. But
Oh my
people,
gosh. I
people,
must want to say one
what?
thing. In fairy tale, they
Um,
say that the heart or like the power of magic comes from like love or something.
um,
Okay, continue.
okay, I'll come. I'll wrap around back to that. I gotta talk to you something about that. So the whole idea is that he realizes that people have magic inside,
Mm-hmm.
but humans can't access it for some reason. It is like humans were made and the humans were blocked off from something that was inherently inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
So people are constantly being born, still have magic in them, but they can't access it. So his whole thing is figuring out how to work it for himself and just like
Can
access it
That's what
for
I was
other
gonna
people.
ask. Can he access it?
Yes,
Can he
because
access
yes,
other people's magic?
that is the whole idea that
Oh.
I'm going with. He's going to be kind of like a magic vampire, and his whole thing is going to try to
Oh.
figure out how to get magic from people for himself.
I have a question now that you say that. So, does magic replenish itself within the people?
I was thinking maybe it'd be like Treon, the whole
Oh, so if
thing.
he takes it, it's gone.
If he takes it from people, no, don't forget Treon comes back when you
Does
when you
it?
burn it. Yeah, you do this.
Oh, right. You have to like rest though.
You have to rest, exactly. But people would, if he like sucked it out immediately, it's kind of like any normal vampire, but for like magic. If he sucked it out immediately, he could kill somebody, right?
I
So it's
see.
like his whole thing is that, and I'm pretty sure that this is something that I've seen everywhere. So it's nothing. His whole thing is that he like walks around like busy areas and just like touches people.
Uh-huh. Like a
Like
pervert.
no, not like a pervert, but like in a crowded area, he just like bumps like skin of people,
His
and
skin has to be showing
yeah, he has to actually touch the skin of people, right? And he
like
sucks
a
off.
pervert.
Yes, like a pervert. He sucks it off like a pervert, and just to like I get a bit of the magic power
Uh-huh,
from people,
uh-huh.
to not that he doesn't have an issue with it, but he's like trying to build himself, seeing as he realizes that this is an untapped resource and I seem to be the only person who can actually do something with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's a whole bunch of other shit that I'm going to like add to it over time, but that was just like my basic idea. It's set in like in modern day too. So the whole thing of like finding useful ways but also careful ways to use magic, since cameras are everywhere,
All right.
right?
CCTV.
CCTV cameras are everywhere. Everybody has a literal
Okay, but
computer
he
in
can
their
do it in
pocket,
his home.
right? his whole thing is that even if he's going to be using magic, he like wants to discover what's going on with the world and stuff, and that arouses other people, and he himself does not want anybody else to know what he's discovered and stuff like that. So it is going to be, there's other things there that I'm not saying because there's a whole other subplot.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes,
You said earlier that you like when there's a cost. You love,
exactly.
so is there a
Yes,
cost? Oh, okay.
there is a cost. It, how do I explain? It's just it's like you get fatigued very fast.
Mm,
That's why he is trying, because like the whole thing is that when he first realizes that magic is real, or just like simple man or whatever, he tried doing something with it, and then he realized that he felt like he was dying, and he was like dog tired. That's why he's slowly like gaining, building like a what you call a mana pool from this. Just take a little bit from everybody as you walk about and go about your day and whatnot, because there's no magic inherently in the world at all. It is like, and you use magic, the world is actively pulling at the magic.
what do you mean?
Okay, imagine a vacuum like space, and your body is a spaceship, right? The air inside that spaceship is your magic abilities. But you need to use your magic abilities to fire your rockets of your spaceship, right? But when you fire your rockets of your spaceship, if you do not immediately close up your spaceship, your oxygen might get sucked out, which is your mana. That's pretty much the idea. Since magic was scrubbed from the earth, and the moment it senses magic, the earth kind of like sucks it away from people. That is why he slowly realizes that that's probably why humans don't use magic anymore, because if you
Okay,
use
so
it
is it being
inadvertently,
sucked away from him as well?
no,
Why?
because he knows how to control it. Okay,
Are you giving away your whole story?
I am kind of giving away some of it, but yes, the whole idea is that he is fighting against, he's learning how to use it, but at the same time you can't use too much of it because the actual world is like a giant mana magnet.
I see.
So the usage of magic, or attempting to use anything that is kind of like magic, is like the earth picks it as like, oh sweet, and it just like drains it from you, and you need control over that whole, you using it and not letting the earth pull
So
it from
the
you
earth is doing that on purpose.
automatically, because there used to be mana on earth, but like I said, it was completely scrubbed from it. So the whole idea is that he finds a way to use magic, but at the same time be extremely simple and subtle, and not like cause any danger to himself, or and not be like picked up by people or whatnot, or on cameras or anything, by doing anything too flashy. That's why my whole thing is just like being stealthy type of thing with him, that type of thing. But yeah, I'm still working on ideas, but that was my whole idea.
But why does he have to do magic in the first place?
Because that's another story thing that I don't want to drop right now. But
Okay.
Kim, there's a whole bunch of ideas I have for this story that I really like. Like even like I can't spoil it. I don't want to put it online in chance that somebody steals all of my ideas. But yeah,
What are we doing right now?
we're putting it online so people. But the stuff that I've given away, I don't mind, because I really like. I'm confident that somebody has also done this idea before. Nothing new under the sun, but yeah, I like where, like you said before, that you realize that for me, I like magic where there's a struggle, there's a cost, and doing stuff takes preparation or requirements and stuff. That there's no easy way to do magic in my
Oh,
worlds.
we're polar opposite magic. Wait,
Exactly.
what?
I don't mind.
Polar magic
Yes,
opposites.
I like when magic is earned. I guess that's the way to put it, right? And so that is, for me, that's entertaining. For
If
me, it's
that's the
entertaining.
case, then It's not like I don't like magic that's earned. And
Probably bad
if
with
you're
case
saying
words.
that, then I should really love magic that's inherited then.
Yeah. I
But I
don't
don't.
mind that. I don't. It depends on the story and how it's told.
And I don't like the stories where it's like everybody has magic within them.
I don't mind those.
I
I
mean,
like
I'm
those.
not your story, but what I'm saying is, in those stories, there's always someone who doesn't,
Oh, you
right?
mean the whole person
And
who?
that person is probably our main character, like
Yeah.
Marshall.
I mean, I mean, it is so typical. Look at no, think about it. Mashal, Hero Academia, freaking Black Clover. Um, Naruto had certain types of issues in the beginning and stuff like that, where so many stories start off like that, where the underdog is the character who has the not
Yeah,
doesn't have
yeah. They
it.
keep talking about how people like to root for the underdog because they see themselves. Um,
But then they always pull the big thing in those stories where the main character's
the main
family.
character's father was a great elf, and his mother
Yes.
was like a wise witch.
Yes. They always pull that in the end, don't they, right?
And then they're all like, "Oh, so this is the reason why he's blah blah blah," and he's like
Neji was right.
OP.
Neji was posthumously proven right.
You know what? I don't know how we got here, but they should have never killed Neji. It was an unnecessary death.
Yeah,
The
it was.
creator, writer, author, man person was wrong.
Anywho, how you feel about faith magic? You know, magic that requires the person to like either pray to a god or some other being to get and use powers, or they need to. They're pretty much a medium on Earth to use the god's powers or whatever. Are those stories normally interesting or what?
I don't really like it.
Yeah.
I actually just finished watching, Hanzuki, the one with the library girl, The Ascendants of the Bookworm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. So in that, because she's like in the priesthood thingy-mabobby,
Uh
right?
huh.
She does the chants and she prays to the gods of like fire, water, and other kinds of things. And that's wonderful and great. And she does blessings, and that's great and nice.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't really. No, I'm not really a fan of like summoning the gods or the spirits or asking them for like power or anything.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest. Um, when I see spirit magic and stuff like that, it's fun. I guess summoning stuff is seems fun. I
I mean,
guess.
if you're summoning not a god though,
Yeah.
if you're summoning like different creatures,
Yeah, that's fine. I guess that's normally cooler.
yeah.
It might be. Yeah, but I guess sometimes you want to summon the big fuck you boss to attack your enemy
I'd
or
rather
whatever.
there not be any actually in that particular story, you know?
Hmm. Summon a weapon, like a cannon or a
Summoning
gun.
weapons is good as well.
Yeah,
I even don't
yeah.
mind when weapons have, like, they say spirits or souls,
This
and
is
they have, like,
like
you have to, like, train and learn how to wield them because they have a mind of their own and
like
things like that.
Bleach.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes.
like Bleach. Yeah, that's pretty. I think that the Zampacto stuff was one of the best parts of Bleach whole power
Well,
idea. I really liked it. I mean, the whole swords having two different forms and unlocking it, and you have to be in tune with your actual
right. I
sword and
agree with that.
stuff.
I agree with that in terms of the tools, the magic tools that you use. I think that there obviously we've seen some that anybody could just use them.
Hmm.
You got basic magic, maybe you just shoot magic into this thing or you put a little bit in and it does whatever the job is for you.
Yeah.
But then there are those ones where you really need to get in tune with the tool.
Yes.
I like those ones.
I really do. Yeah, that's why I brought up Bleach because it's a great example of that. Yes, you have power, and you can see how. I like how the thing that I believe I'm actually praising Bleach right now, but the thing about how, especially for how the swords change and they look, and sometimes you just have the simple look, but then they have different forms based on the person and their personality and how they actually use the sword. I think that's probably my favorite part of Bleach. The whole how everybody gets a sword, but it completely changes completely to everybody's personality and whatnot. And that comes out in that way, and it changes when they go into the Bankai form. That was great stuff. That's honestly great stuff. This was fantastic stuff. I love the whole weapon stuff, like unique weapon stuff for the characters and things. Pretty good. Don't always see it in like certain stories, but yeah. World Trigger is kind of on the opposite end of that whole. Everybody gets a trigger, but there's unique triggers that people can use, but some other people can still use them as well, but they might not be most efficient at them. And you could change out the types of triggers that you want, but everybody kind of still has access. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, you know?
Meaning?
That okay, everybody gets a Swiss Army knife, right? But some person might use a different tool from the Swiss Army knife more efficiently than somebody else. But the tools are still there, access to them. They still have access to all the tools, but different people will choose a different tool to do the same job, type of thing.
Yeah, I like that as well.
You know, that is actually how it adds some variety of stuff. So you might see somebody do the same move, but you know, their own way and unique way. So that's also an interesting way to have a limited skill set or like magic system, but everybody else still adds their own personality or personal touch to it, which is always what you want to see when it comes to stuff like this. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed our little talk about magic and magic stories and magic systems. I don't steal any of the things that I talked about in my story. I have those totally patented.
You mean copyright?
Copyrighted, yes. Copyright. Do not steal original OC. Don't steal my characters, guys. But I'm kidding. But yeah.
No one is the original.
Don't steal my ideas. I'll steal them back from you. I swear it. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. What ideas do you have from magic and magic systems in your stories, or just that you enjoy overall? Let us know, and see you guys in the next one.
Good night, everyone.